Welcome all in this lecture of biophysics. This lecture is actually the continuation of my earlier lectures regarding the application of statistical mechanics in some biological systems. So, in my earlier lectures we have discussed about microstates, we have also discussed about Boltzmann distribution, we have discussed about partition function and their application to some biological systems. We have also introduced about the idea of the ligand receptor model. Now, in this particular lecture, we will find the probability of some particular microstates with the system that is ligand receptor. So, I will request the viewers to go through my earlier lectures before continuing this lecture. Now, one of the most powerful uses to which we will put the tools developed in my earlier lectures to the broad class of binding interactions of interest in biology. So, binding interactions means in my earlier lectures we have discussed about the binding between the ligand and the receptor. So, this is one of the example of some biological systems, but if we apply the statistical mechanics to study such system, then we can also apply statistical mechanics for study of different biological systems. That is why such type of system is very important. Now, we have already discussed about the Boltzmann distribution and partition function in the earlier lecture. Example of this kind of binding means that is binding between the ligand and receptor that we have discussed in earlier lecture. So, this binding problems include the binding of oxygen to hemoglobin, the binding of transcription factors to DNA, and the binding of acetylcholine to nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. So, basically if we clearly understand this such type of binding problem that we have introduced with the example between the binding between ligand and receptor. So, if we clearly understand that model, then we can also use our concepts for studying different types of binding problem. Binding problem means that is we have told that is binding of oxygen to hemoglobin, the binding of transcription factors to DNA, and the binding of acetylcholine to nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, etc. Now, we have already introduced you about the ligand receptor model, and in the ligand receptor model I will again show you the figure that we have discussed before, figure 6.1 in this textbook. So, in this figure you see that there are several ligands. So, these ligands are occupied by some tiny boxes. You see these are the tiny boxes, and this is called the receptor. So, there may be different types of microstate as discussed earlier. So, these are different types of possible arrangements of the ligands in the boxes, and in only one of the figure you see that some ligand is occupied by the receptor. So, these are the examples of the microstates, and we have at that time told that is there are total L, capital L number of ligands, and capital omega is the number of boxes in this system. Now, let us continue our discussion about the ligand receptor model. Now, here in this particular lecture, our ambition is to compute the probability that a receptor is occupied by a ligand as a function of the number of ligands. So, just I have shown you a figure where the receptor is occupied by the ligand. So, what is the probability that a receptor is occupied by a ligand, that we are going to find. For that purpose, here we have shown a figure. You carefully look at the figure. In figure A, all the ligands are free in nature, and in figure B, one of the ligand is occupied by the receptor. This one is the receptor. So, two different situation has been described. Now in this particular figure, apart from these two images, we have also demonstrated three different terms. For example, this is energy, this is multiplicity, and this is weight. Energy, multiplicity, weight for two different situations. Now you see the cartoon show a lattice model of the solution for the case in which there are L number of ligands. So, lattice model means we have assumed that the solution can be divided in some tiny boxes. You see these boxes are tiny boxes, and the number of such boxes is capital omega, and these red circles are the ligands, and there are total capital L number of ligands. Now in figure A, and the receptor is unoccupied. You see the ligands, all the ligands are free, and in figure B the receptor is occupied by a particular ligand and the remaining L-1 ligands are free. As one of the ligand is occupied by the receptor, so rest, that is L-1 ligands, are free in the solution. A given state has a weight dictated by its Boltzmann factor. So you see that in this particular column we have denoted as weight. So what is weight? Weight is actually determined by its Boltzmann factor. So how to determine the Boltzmann factor? The Boltzmann factor, expression of the Boltzmann factor is e to the power minus beta into E, where E is the energy and beta is equal to 1 by kBt. Kb is the Boltzmann constant. Now the Boltzmann factor will be different for two different cases. So I will discuss about the weight later on, but you see that the energy of this particular state is capital L into epsilon, and in suffix we have written sol. Sol means solution. So as the ligands are free in the solution, so in that case we are assuming that energy for each of the ligand is epsilon solution. All the ligands are free in the solution. So as there are L number of ligands, so total energy of the ligands will be capital L into epsilon solution. And in this situation we are denoting epsilon b. B means bound, that is one of the ligand is bound, that is why its energy is epsilon b, and rest of the ligands are free and energy for this ligands is epsilon solution. As L-1 ligands are free, so energy for this particular state will be L-1 into epsilon solution plus epsilon b. Now when we are calculating the Boltzmann factor, I have already told you that is the Boltzmann factor is e to the power minus beta into energy. So you see in this case you just forget about the first term, I will explain it later, but you see in this expression e to the power minus beta into energy. Energy means L into epsilon solution, and in the second case the Boltzmann factor will be again e to the power minus beta E, where E is the energy, but here the expression of energy is this one. So this one is the Boltzmann factor in two different cases. Now how to find the weight? To find the weight you have to multiply the Boltzmann factor with the multiplicity. Now what is multiplicity? Multiplicity is the total number of possible microstates. Now this particular formula, that is the number of microstates, we have already derived in the earlier lectures. So in the first case, what is the total number of microstates? That is omega factorial divided by L factorial into omega minus L factorial. This formula we have already derived. In the second case, as one of the ligand is bound to the receptor, so in this case L will be replaced by L minus 1. So you see the L is replaced by L minus 1, that is the difference only. And this particular expression can be simplified as omega to the power L divided by L factorial, and this expression can be approximated as omega to the power L minus 1 by L minus 1 factorial. This is the approximation of this term, and I will again clearly explain that is how we can approximate this particular factor with this particular factor. Now to see the logic of the calculation that I am going to discuss, for that purpose I have already explained you this figure. The key point is that there are only two classes of the states, namely all of those states for which there is no ligand bound to the receptor. So this is the first figure, and the second case is that all of those states for which one of the ligands is bound to the receptor and others are free. The neat feature of this situation is that although there are many realization of each case of the state, you focus on this particular sentence. There is many realization of each case. Each case means, suppose here we have considered that all the ligands are free, but you see for this particular case there may be different types of microstates, because you see that ligands are distributed in the boxes in this manner. Now this particular distribution may be arranged in different way also. Suppose this box, this tiny circle, red circle, that may be in this box also. That means one of the ligands, suppose this one, this may be in other boxes also. In this way there may be different types of microstates available for this particular case. Similarly, for the second case also, here this particular ligand is occupied by the receptor, but another ligand may also be occupied by this receptor. So there may be different case in second case also. So microstates will be different in this particular two situations. But the point is that the Boltzmann factor is the same for each realization of these classes of state. That is the important factor. That is, for each case there may be different types of microstate, but the Boltzmann factor is the same for each realization of these classes of states. So Boltzmann factor will be same for all the microstates in each case. To compute the probability that a ligand is bound to the receptor, we need to consider a ratio in which the numerator is the weight of all states in which one ligand is bound to the receptor, and the denominator is the sum over all possible states. So again I am repeating. So we to find the probability such that a ligand is bound to the receptor, we need to calculate a ratio. Which ratio? The numerator is the weight of all states in which one ligand is bound. So numerator will indicate the bound states, all possible bound states, and the denominator will be all states. That is, it may be bound and it may not be bound. All of the states will be in the denominator. So that will give you the probability such that one ligand is bound to the receptor. This particular idea is represented graphically in figure 6.5, and I will show you the figure. You see, this is the expression of the probability that I have told right now. Now you see the numerator. In the numerator you see we have denoted that one of the ligand is bound to the receptor, and here we have indicated that is sum of the states, because any ligand may be bound to the receptor. This is one of the example that I have shown, but sum of the states means this is that all possible states you have to consider. So that is the numerator. And what is the denominator? One of the state will be bound like the numerator. So this this state and this state is similar, but in the denominator you have to consider all possible states. That means you have to also consider the unbound states. So these are the states which are in which the ligands are unbound. So the denominator is actually the sum of all possible states, and the numerator is the sum of only bound states. Now what the figure shows is that there are a host of different states in which the receptor is occupied. I have already told you, when the receptor is occupied, that situation actually corresponds to different microstates. First, there are L different ligands that can bind to the receptor. Total L number of ligands are there. Second, L minus 1 ligands that remain behind in solution and can be distributed among the omega sites in many different ways. In particular, we have weight when receptor is occupied. So how to find the weight when receptor is occupied? Then you have to consider the bound ligand, that is the Boltzmann factor corresponding to the bound state, that is e to the power minus beta epsilon, multiplied by the Boltzmann factor for the unbound state, that is for the free ligands. So multiplication of these two will give you the weight when receptor is occupied. You see in this figure also we have written the weight in this way. If you ignore this term, then this term is same. Just what we have done, we have here consider all such free ligands, that is, as one of the ligand is bound, so that is a single state. That is why we have written e to the power minus beta into epsilon b, single state, into, you see, that is combination of all free ligands, because apart from the one ligand, all of the ligands are free. You see, in this particular exponential term, in place of L we have written L minus 1. So e to the power minus beta L minus 1 into epsilon solution. So this particular factor corresponds to the summation of the all free ligands. Now, so this is the weight when receptor is occupied. So this corresponds to the weight of the numerator, this situation, that is the numerator, where we have introduced epsilon b as the binding energy for the ligand. B means the ligand is bound. That is why with the term epsilon b that I have already explained you, epsilon b indicates the binding energy for the ligand and receptor, and epsilon solution as the energy for a ligand when it is free in the solution. The summation epsilon solution, you see in this particular equation we have introduced a summation, and in just below of the summation term we have written solution. So what is the meaning of the summation term? The summation is an instruction to sum over all of the ways of arranging the L minus 1 ligands on the omega lattice sites in the solution. We know that is there are total omega number of lattice sites in the solution, and we can distribute L minus 1 ligands in this omega number of sites. With each of those states assign the weight e to the power minus beta into L minus 1 into epsilon solution. But in all such distribution the Boltzmann factor will be same, that is e to the power minus beta L minus 1 into solution. This Boltzmann factor is same. Since the Boltzmann factor is same for each of these states, what this sum amounts to is finding the number of arrangements of the L minus 1 ligands amongst the omega lattice sites. So if we are able to calculate the number of arrangements L minus 1 ligands in omega sites, then that particular number of arrangements we have to multiply with the Boltzmann factor. So this particular factor will give you omega factorial. This is the number of arrangements I have already described in the figure. So omega factorial L minus 1 factorial, and here omega minus L minus 1 factorial. This is the number of ways we can arrange the L minus 1 ligands in omega sites, this particular factor. And what is this factor? This factor is the Boltzmann factor. As L minus 1 ligands are free in the solution, so the Boltzmann factor will be e to the power minus beta into L minus 1 into epsilon solution. Now you see that this particular factor is same as described earlier. Here you see that this particular factor I have already described earlier, but here we have also considered the bound state, that is why we have written plus epsilon b. So this is the weight. Now you see that this particular value is this one. The denominator of the expression shown in figure 6.5, that means in this figure, this denominator is the partition function itself. Why? Since it represents the sum over all possible arrangements of the system, because in my earlier lecture we have already described the meaning of the partition function. You see, at that time I have shown you that the partition function z, that can be written as the sum over all the states I is equal to 1 to capital N e to the power minus beta e, or minus ei by kbt. So z is actually the sum over all the states. So that is why this particular denominator is basically the partition function. So how to write the partition function? So the partition function will be e to the power minus beta e, but we have to categorize energy for both cases, that is for both the bound state and the unbound state. Now if we consider the unbound state, then L number of ligands will be free, total L number of ligands will be free. So in that case, what will be the total energy? e to the power minus beta L into epsilon solution, beta E. But what is E? L into epsilon solution. This is for the unbound states. And what will be the value of Boltzmann factor for bound state? That will be e to the power minus beta into L minus 1 solution multiplied by e to the power minus beta into epsilon b. This one, but this particular second factor, you see the second factor we have already written in this case, that is in equation 6.11. You see that apart from this factor is we have already introduced. So we have already evaluated the second term in the sum culminating in equation 6.11. So basically the second factor we have already evaluated. So this is the value of the second factor. To complete our evaluation of the partition function, we have to evaluate the sum e to the power minus beta L into epsilon solution. That is the first term over all of the ways of arranging the L ligands on the omega lattice sites. With the result, now if we calculate the sum, then what will be the value of the sum? E to the power minus beta L into epsilon solution multiplied by the number of arrangements. Again, this factor we have already introduced in the figure. You see in the figure, this term we have already introduced. So the first factor will be this one, e to the power minus beta L epsilon solution multiplied by the number of arrangements. So this is the first term. So ultimately the expression for the partition function z, that can be written as, you use equation 6.13, right hand side of the equation 6.13 plus this right hand side of equation 6.11 multiplied by e to the power minus beta into epsilon b. So now we have obtained the expression of the partition function z. Now you see in this particular expression of the p bound, we have estimated both the numerator and the denominator. What is the value of the numerator? That we have calculated in equation 6.11, and what is the value of the denominator? That we have calculated in equation 6.14. Now we have to use one approximation that I have told you during the demonstration of this particular figure. You see that this particular factor has been approximated in this way. Now what is the validity of this approximation? So what we can do, that is omega factorial divided by omega minus L factorial, that can be approximated as omega to the power L. Now see how it is possible. So I will explain you with one example. Suppose the value of omega is 10 to the power 6 and the value of capital L is 10. Now you put the values in the left hand side of this equation. Now you see the numerator 10 to the power 6 factorial. 10 to the power 6 factorial can be expanded in this way: 10 to the power 6 into 10 to the power 6 minus 1, 10 to the power 6 minus 2, and so on. But I am writing up to 10 to the power 6 minus 9, because suppose just after this term, what will be the next term of 10 to the power 6 minus 9? The next term will be 10 to the power 6 minus 10, then 10 to the power 6 minus 11, then 10 to the power 6 minus 12, and so on. But you see the denominator will start from 10 to the power 6 minus 10, then again 10 to the power 6 minus 11, and so on. So ultimately just after this term, the terms of the numerator and the terms of the denominator will cancel out. So ultimately up to 10 to the power 6 minus 9, that is the terms of the numerator up to this term only will last. So if you multiply all these terms, and if you note that the values of 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 9, these values are very less than 10 to the power 6. So we can neglect 1, 2, 3, 4 these terms. So this term will be approximately as 10 to the power 6 to the power 10, because total 10 times there are 10 to the power 6, because you see this is first, second, third, fourth, and this is the 10th term. So 10 to the power 6 to the power 10. So this approximation is a valid approximation, because you see this one can be approximated as this. That is why we are saying omega factorial divided by omega minus L factorial, that can be approximated as omega to the power L. With this approximation, what we can do, we can simplify the expression of the probability. Now let us see that is how we can simplify the expression of the probability. At first we are writing the expression for the probability. I have already told you that what will be the numerator and what will be the denominator. So this is equation 6.17. This is the expression of the probability. Now you just simplify this. Simplify with the approximation that I have already told, that is omega factorial divided by omega minus L factorial, that can be written as omega to the power L. You have used this simplification here. Now this result can be simplified by multiplying the top and bottom by L factorial divided by omega to the power L multiplied by e to the power beta L into epsilon solution. So you have to multiply this factor with both the numerator and denominator. Then the expression of the probability will be very much simplified, and you see the right hand side. So this is the expression of the probability. Here we have used the term delta E, which is epsilon B minus epsilon solution. The overall volume of the box is V box. Suppose the overall volume of the box is V box, and this permits us to rewrite our results using concentration variable. So we are introducing a variable that is known as the concentration variable. In particular, this can be written in terms of ligand concentration C. So we are denoting the term C for the concentration, and how we are defining C? C is equal to capital L divided by omega into V box. So V box is the volume of the box, and there are total, that is omega number of box. We have already shown in the figure, that is omega number of tiny boxes are available. So total volume is omega into V box. So we have where omega into V box is the total volume of the system, and L divided by the total volume, that is the number of ligands divided by the total volume occupied by these ligands. So that is known as the concentration C. Now we introduce another parameter C0. C0 is equal to 1 divided by V box, that is known as the reference concentration. So in terms of C0 and C, this P bound can be written in very simplified format. So P bound is equal to C by C0 e to the power minus beta into delta epsilon divided by 1 plus C by C0 e to the power minus beta into delta epsilon. Now if we plot the P bound in the, suppose in the vertical axis, if we show the probability, and in the horizontal axis if you plot the concentration of the ligands C, then the graphs will look like this. So these three graphs will denote three values of the delta E. You see the red lines, green line and blue line denotes the different values of the delta E, and graphs will look like this. So this particular formula which we have derived in equation 6.9, this classic result goes under many different names depending upon the field, such as the Langmuir adsorption isotherm or a Hill function, etc. Regardless of names, this expression will be our point of departure of thinking about all binding problems, because we in this particular lectures we have considered one particular type of binding problems, such as the binding between the ligand and the receptor. So there may be some different points, different types of problems, though many problems of biological interest exhibit binding curves that are sharper than this one, because we have demonstrated some of the curves corresponding to the ligand receptor model, but you will see later, that is some of the curve may be sharper than this particular curve, that is they exhibit cooperativity, and which we will discuss later on. Ultimately, even those curves are measured against the standard result derived here. So these curves are very important, and the expression of the probability that we have derived in this lecture is also very important. So what we have learned in this discussion, that is we have used the models of statistical mechanics, we have used the concept of the microstates, we have used the expression of Boltzmann factor, that is e to the power minus beta epsilon. We have also used the idea of the partition function z. What is the partition function? Partition function z is the summation of the Boltzmann factor for all of the states available. We have introduced the idea of the partition function in earlier lecture, and we have used the partition function during the derivation. So applying all these concepts, and we have also used the statistical distribution, which is similar to the FD distribution. When we have calculated the number of possible arrangements of the ligands in the solution, we have used the similar model like FD distribution, Fermi-Dirac distribution. Using all these concepts of the statistical mechanics, what we have derived here, that is the probability of some particular microstates in ligand receptor model. And I hope that you have understood the concept which we have discussed in such types of lectures, and the textbook from which I have discussed all this concept is the Physical Biology of the Cell, written by Rob Phillips and others. And I request the viewers to go through this textbook for clear understanding of these topics. And I also thank you for listening my lecture.